watching ACC Network Extra. And welcome to Charlottesville, Virginia, inside John Paul Jones Arena, where the number 4 team in the country, Louisville Cardinals, have rolled into town to face the home team, Virginia Cavaliers, a team that has struggled with consistency and finding its identity this season. Hi, everybody. Fran Harris, along with former UVA star Lauren Moses. And Lauren, this is a Louisville team that has a very high-octane offense, very balanced attack, but there's always one player who brings you to the next level. And for Louisville, that's Asia Durr.
Of course. Asia Durr is the engine that runs this team. She's consistently scoring 20-plus points in the second half of this season against UConn, Florida State, and had 20 points against UVA earlier in the year. 30-plus points in 4 games, one coming with 2,000 career points against Central Michigan. So, you know, she had an off night against Miami, but it's very rare for a player of her caliber to have 2 back-to-back off nights. So we should expect to see the ball in her hands a lot more often.
High-volume shooter is Asia Durr before Virginia. They have been up and down all season, a little bit inconsistent. When they are on track, Toussaint has to play well for them.
Of course, Toussaint, 10 points in their last game, which was a loss against UNC. When she's able to get into the paint and create shots and buckets at the rim for herself, UVA is in a better position. They're winning more often. In 4 of their ACC wins, she's averaging 17 points. So they really need her to be on top of her game tonight, as well as finishing at the free throw line.
In his 12th season at Louisville, I don't know if there's been a coach that's ascended to the upper echelon of women's basketball as quickly as Jeff Walz, but he's done a tremendous job there.
He's doing a great job with this team, as he has over years, over 12 years. He really wants to come into this game and set the tempo. We talked to him yesterday, actually, and he talked about setting the tempo and not allowing UVA to start this game strong. Doesn't matter who they're playing, it's all about the mentality. Came off of a loss, but either way, they have to have the mentality where we don't care who we're playing, we're going to outwork each team that we go against.
A veteran coach who's done a terrific job, and in her first season is the Naismith Hall of Famer coach Tina Thompson, 97 grad. Talk about her resume forever in the WNBA, 4 championships with the Houston Comets, but a rookie when it comes to coaching and looking for big things for this Virginia team.
Yeah, she's the rookie, but she's been leading this team. And, you know, I was young when she came up and she was playing in her prime, but from the stories that I hear and videos that I see, she led by example. And that's what she's doing with this Virginia team in practice and shoot around. If she's instructing them, she's getting in there with them and showing them exactly what she wants. And that's what you can expect from an all-star like she is.
Tina Thompson, again, big expectations in her time here at Virginia. But Louisville, we talked about the high-octane offense. Asia Durr is certainly one to watch, but Erica Carter, you got to keep your eye on her as well.
Definitely. She's a great threat for this team. She's great at assists, especially getting into that paint and dishing it off to her post players as well as shooters like Durr. But she's an all-star in itself as well. You know, she has great ball handling, and she's very confident as well in the defensive end.
The others for UVA, we sound like a broken record. We know that Toussaint, you talked about her in the open, has to play well, as does Willoughby, but Monet Jones and Jablonowski have to step up too.
Yeah, I think it's going to take all 5 players out here on this court. Louisville ranks 4th in the nation. You know, you're not going to get by on this team by doing what you do every day. You have to bring something extra in this game.
And let's not forget the last time they played, Louisville handed Virginia a 91-43 loss at the Yum Center in Louisville, so definitely looking for a different outcome, says Tina Thompson.
And an early shot there for Durr, something that I knew was going to happen. You know, they're going to get the balls in her hands as much as possible, especially early on. They're going to try to get her in her sweet spots and get her more comfortable than she was in Miami. They did a really good job of disrupting her.
Toussaint draws a crowd down low to Jablonowski for the deuce.
Great offense there. Great ball movement, great cutting without the ball, and Lisa, she does a really good job of moving without the ball and staying active on the offensive end, and that was a great pass by Toussaint.
So dribble penetration by the Cardinal. Big presence down low, beautiful move there by Bianca Durham.
Yeah, Dunham is going to have that advantage. She's so strong down there in the low block and takes her time when she gets the ball in her hands. And she doesn't get it very often, especially with her back to the basket. But when she does a good job of finishing.
Talk about finishing. Looks like a different Virginia team here. So early in the ball game, we've seen Durr take a couple of looks. Not going to miss a whole lot of those. Rebound by Willoughby. Let's talk about what Virginia needs to do to be successful here today.
Yeah, I mean, they have a strong start right now, but to go up against Louisville, you have to have really good transition defense. They are a team that gets the ball out of the net, off the rim, off of turnovers, and will push it down the court. All 5 players will run hard. And, of course, everyone has to contribute. We talked about this in the open. Everybody in the white jerseys has to play 100% tonight. From Tinsley to Yablonowski, they have to give their all-out effort.
So Tinsley, relatively quiet in the UNC game on Sunday, came in a little bit later and hit a couple of buckets. But you're absolutely right, and Coach Tina talked about that in practice. Everybody wearing white tonight has to show up.
And Tinsley has shown, sparks of greatness at times, especially earlier in the season. When she's getting into the paint, I think that's when she's most comfortable. Does a really good job of finishing with contact as well.
So fresh shot clock gives it back to Virginia. Tinsley will anchor for the Cavaliers. Another bad pass by Monet Jones. We see that every game, but we see Mo trying to get the ball down low to Yablonowski, and it doesn't work out.
And that high-low is there. I mean, it's usually there, but Louisville, they're a different type of team. You got to do a few things different, and for Louisville, they're going to have to bounce back. This is a bounce-back game, They lost against Miami, an upset, but Miami just out-rebounded them. They scored more points in the paint than they did. Miami outscored them in the paint 30-18, something that you don't usually see.
So another misfire by Louisville. Virginia here with an early 2-point lead behind some pretty nifty passing by Toussaint. The step back, difficult shot by Tinsley on that one.
And sometimes you just have to make the simple play. I think I saw Jocelyn coming around, helping her out when she did pick up the ball, and shots like that you can't take against Louisville because they're going to take advantage of it.
Dunham faces up against Jones, and now Louisville throws a little press at Virginia.
And this is where a lot of teams see trouble in this press. It's not too aggressive, but with the length and the speed that Louisville has, it causes trouble for their opponents.
So unlike teams that we saw Miami, we will see other teams really throw. Clemson even threw very aggressive 1-2-2s, different zone presses. Louisville likes to bait you into the trap.
And I think you see that more with extremely athletic teams. Both Clemson and Miami have girls on that team who can jump out of the gym. They can run and move laterally really well. So that's what you see in the ACC, those athletic teams wanting to startle the slower paced teams.
Locked at 4 here in Charlottesville at JPG Arena. Just joining us, Fran Harris and Lauren Moses with ACC action. Ahead to Willoughby from Tinsley. And now Monet Jones tries to get into the action. No good there. Big rebound by Louisville. And here's where Louisville can really start to rack up points in transition.
Especially secondary transition. They're good at taking their time. If they don't get it on the first one, then they'll go in for the second one as well for a drive.
Durr against Toussaint. That matchup, folks, you need to watch that. That's 2 of the prolific scorers in this league, and Toussaint will get her first personal.
And Durr's just so good. I don't even think she made a move to get into the paint and calls that a foul. She has a very quick first step, and it can be deceiving because everyone knows that she can shoot the 3, but you have to be ready for everything.
Durr likes to go left, will come back left even if she goes right, but can just light it up from all over the floor. It's tough defense there by Willoughby. The misfire, and here come the Cavaliers.
It's always those lefties that get you too.
The 3-pointer by Toussaint is off, nothing but red jerseys, but Yablonowski comes away with the rebound. pretty fast pace here right now, Lauren.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Fast pace, especially for Virginia, something that they've been showing every now and then, especially late here in the season. Getting out early and starting strong has always been a key of theirs, and they're doing that right now. Haven't gotten as many shots as they would like to go down, but their pace is what they need to be successful.
So Willoughby with the little fake there. The official thought it was a travel call. That one gives it back to Louisville. Substitutions on the floor coming into the game for Virginia. Kyasia Caldwell for Brianna Tinsley. Durr will actually take a seat for Louisville. So let's see what we get here on offense, and you see what we get. Erica Carter knocking that one down.
I'm not sure we mentioned it, but she's also a three-point shooter. So she can take it to the basket, but she will also knock that shot down and shoot it confidently if you lack off of her.
7-4 lead Louisville. Kyasia Caldwell trying to make a little magic here for Virginia. Willoughby got it. Tie ball game.
Great three-point shot for Willoughby. She's shooting 49% from the three-point line. Hasn't shot very well recently, but that was a wide-open shot that she's capable of shooting and making.
Over to Kyasia Caldwell, the miss, but the cleanup by Willoughby.
And right now, I think Virginia's feeding off of this crowd. Very loud in here today, and that's because Virginia came out strong. It's because they're showing really good defensive possessions, not allowing second chance points, and running in transition, and that's fun basketball.
Lots of fun here at JPJ. Toussaint picks up her second personal on that one. And we're at the timeout mark here in Charlottesville, but I'm telling you, it's been a fast-paced game. Some folks would say it's maybe even track meet-like as Willoughby goes to Kyasia and then cleans it up herself. Her team is up by 2 at home. Tie ball game here. Louisville, Virginia. Talking about bouncing back. Willoughby, 2 points in this ball game. Averaging 18 points, though. This is a person who has to also show up for Virginia.
Oh, yeah, I think she has to show up every night for Virginia, especially to see success. But right now, 2 points, but she has 6 rebounds. She's all over right now, and that's what we're used to seeing from her. But it's going to be nice to see other people feed off of her energy right now.
Kyasia Caldwell with maybe a block right there, a piece of that. And officials are conferring what's happening. That was interesting.
Yeah.
So everybody's watching the game, and then we hear a whistle mid as the shot actually did not get to the basket. Back Louisville basketball.
And Caldwell has done that before in a game. She does a really good job of contesting three-point shots without even attempting or being anywhere near the player to foul them. She just flies right by them and kind of distracts them from their shot.
Nice pass. Kylie Shook with the bucket for Louisville. Gives them nice presence under the basket.
And Kylie Shook had a big game against Miami. Fearing had some foul trouble, and she came in and knocked down 2 back-to-back threes. Did a very good job of blocking the ball in transition. And she's out here tonight trying to help her team out even more.
Look at the aggressive hedging there on defense by Louisville, trying to force Virginia into a tough shot. Monet Jones can't make that shot, but over the back clearly is Jablonowski on that one.
Yeah, I think that's 2 players going after the ball strong, but this Louisville defense is attacking these guards coming off of screens. And I remember playing against Louisville, and I'm telling my guards, throw the ball in the paint, and they're like, I can't see you. It's because of how aggressive these Louisville guards and post are, especially on their ball screen defense. They do a good job of covering all corners.
Tough defense gives it back to Louisville. As Dana Evans gives it up. That one off. But you even see activity by Louisville on the boards there. No numbers for Virginia. 2:57 remaining in the first quarter. It has been a torrid pace, and there is some terrific defense right there by Erica Carter to turn it over.
So pesky. All of these Louisville guards are so pesky on the ball. And I think that's just kind of how Coach Walls has trained them, to play at one pace, and that's 100%.
Tinsley now with the basketball for Virginia. Again, we haven't seen anybody really start to catch on fire for Virginia other than Willoughby and maybe a little bit of Jablonowski.
Yeah, I think they're playing with a lot of energy right now, but they're definitely going to want to start turning that energy into points here.
That passion ends up being a foul. Willoughby coming strong to the basketball. And checking back in is Asia Durr as Erica Carter takes a seat. But you got to love that you're the number 4 team in the country and you can rest your best player in the middle of the first quarter.
You can. But Coach Walls also said that they have a very small room for error. You know, no matter who's in the game, you know, you can't come in this game and just be relaxed because we're number 4 in the nation. You know, rankings don't matter to Louisville, and it doesn't matter to most of the teams who are highly ranked. And so, like I said, they're trying to come in here and start the pace of this game.
Front of the iron for Willoughby. Little scoop shot by Kaija Caldwell. Keeps Virginia within 1. So this is definitely not the Virginia team we saw at the Yum Center a few weeks ago, getting blown out early in that ball game. Nice defense by Kaija Caldwell there.
And she's so small, but she plays so big. I remember in the UNC game, she got a rebound over one of their post players, and sometimes you're just like, how does she get that? But it's because she does her work early. She scouts out where the ball's going to go, and then she goes to it without anybody else seeing her because she's so small.
Sometimes it's will over skill. And Kaija Caldwell has a lot of grit, determination, and will. Virginia trailing by 1. Tinsley all the way to the hole. And Caldwell again with the basket. That's a grown woman rebound right there.
And you can't coach that. You cannot coach that, and she's averaging only 3 rebounds a game. So right now, she doesn't care about the name on the jersey. She's just playing hard.
Nice shot by Dana Evans, possibly the ACC 6th player of the year. That's a tough jumper.
Yeah, she's grown a lot throughout her time here. Sophomore for this team, only averaged 5 points last year, and she's leading this team in more ways than just one. She creates the pace for their team on offense and runs the ball hard in transition for them.
So the defense, the passing lanes. I love Louisville's ability to get in the passing lane and create havoc, but that one turned into a foul.
Yeah, UVA guards have to slow it down. Coming off those screens, you know that the post is coming out strong and hard, so you have to figure out another way, whether that's a back dribble or misdirection pass into your post. So
Lisa Jablonowski, 6'3" junior out of Luxembourg. She was trying to teach us all how to say these words the correct way.
Yeah, I remember playing with her. She's like, my last name is not Jablonowski. It's Jablonowski.
Jablonowski. You have to say it.
Yes.
She told me close enough. I go Jablonowski. She goes, that's not bad. Pretty good. Pretty good. Jablonowski sinks the free throw. It's a tie ball game at 14. Dana Evans trying to create off the bounce. Jasmine Jones, a little penetration there. Crowd loving the defense. Beautiful shot, but good defense by Jablonowski. And now Virginia with an opportunity to have the last possession of the quarter.
And that was a result of Virginia just covering all their bases. The ball got swung and wide open, but still finished the play out strong.
So Jablonowski had an open avenue to the basket. Not looking for anybody else. Smartly takes it to the hole. Virginia now with it with 1.4 seconds remaining in this opening period. Jablonowski with a cut to the basket. Tough look right there for Virginia.
Great half for both of these teams, but Kaija Caldwell has been stepping up in the last 3 minutes of this quarter. rebounding the ball over post players over the entire Louisville team. Comes in here and finishes, shoots around Louisville players, and she's just been going really hard for this Virginia team, and that's what they're going to need to get into this.
Don't lie, tie ball game, Virginia-Louisville. I'll tell you, one story of this game has been the rebounding for both of these teams, Lauren.
Last game out, Louisville was out-rebound by 4 in their loss against Miami. Right now, Virginia is out-rebounding this team by 9. Something that you don't usually see by this Virginia team, but they're showing effort. And that's what you can't coach. You can't coach effort. So coming out here and starting this game off strong has really set the pace of this game, especially in regards to transition. Both teams have been getting up and down, but Virginia is only limiting Louisville to 1 shot each time down the court. They only have 1 offensive rebound right now.
Big presence on the board have been junior Jocelyn Willoughby, who has 6 of those. So she is showing up in a very big way for the Cavaliers tonight. Into the ball game also for Virginia is first-year Erica Martinson. We know her as a long-range shooter, so obviously in the ball game for that. But Coach Tina Thompson also says everybody on the floor has to play defense as well. So nobody's out there just to shoot. Everybody has to hold their own defensively. 10 on the shot clock. Inside to Willoughby. Up with the left, can't get that one to go, but pad the stats on the rebound. Willoughby with their 7th rebound on that one, and she will be fouled.
And she's doing Jocelyn Willoughby things, but that possession down, Virginia didn't get into a set. Tinsley was just dribbling the ball at the top of the key, and for them to get valuable and key shots, especially in that paint, which it looks like they're trying to do, they're going to have to get the ball there more often.
So the little flex cut on offense is working for Willoughby. We've seen her get the basketball there at least twice tonight on the baseline. And we'll see what Virginia is able to do with Caldwell and Tinsley in the ball game. Usually when those two are in the game, Tinsley gets to move to the off-guard position. The double team comes, and Tinsley breaks out. If there's a double team, somebody should be open. And Willoughby says, I am.
And she's going to take that open shot. But good job from Tinsley. She got trapped, but she stayed poised. The freshman, Martinson, came to help her out, and they just swung the ball. Usually they would, be a little bit frantic, but here they take their time, and they're playing really poised right now against this aggressive defense. And
as you pointed out, 1 shot for Louisville on the offensive end. Virginia maintaining this 2-point lead. And Caldwell takes it to the hole and will draw the personal on Erica Carter. So a much more aggressive Virginia team here tonight that we've seen in a while.
I think that starts with Caldwell. She really set the tone for their team, coming out and rebounding the way that she did, and as well as just attacking that ball down the lane through Louisville jerseys. That shows passion, and as a teammate, you can't ask for anything better.
Erica Martinson does not disappoint, and the fans love the first year, knocking down her first 3-pointer of the game. Louisville coming right back at you. So another long ball by Louisville, and a box out by Willoughby gives it back to the Cavaliers.
I think it's interesting to see Martinson putting it down in Asia Durr's face, though.
Listen, there's no doubt in your mind, if you're watching and you've seen Erica all year, she was shooting that thing.
Oh, yeah. She came into this, she was dreaming last night about shooting that 3 in Asia Durr's face, but Virginia just playing with confidence.
Virginia with a 5-point lead over the number 4 ranked team in the country. Caldwell all the way to the hole for the hoop and the harm. And the sophomore from Pocono Summit will go to the free throw line for an old-fashioned 3-point play.
Going strong, doesn't care who's around her, and she shows a little bit of emotion afterwards. Not something you usually see, but the sophomore, a player who didn't get that much playing time last year, has had games this year where she's played 5 minutes, has played 20 minutes, but I don't think it matters how much time she gets in games, because whenever she's out here on the court, she's making a difference.
Kaisha Caldwell, big time contribution to this team as Virginia goes to a 2-3 zone. Asia Durr can make you come out of that zone, but she misses that one. The 8-point lead for the home team. And again, I'll say it again, Virginia does not look like the team we saw in the Yum Center in January. Big rebound by Willoughby again.
Well, you know, when there's an upset, especially in the ACC, everyone's confidence boosts a little bit. So going up against Miami just a few weeks ago, Virginia held their own down there in Miami. But seeing that team, someone that they competed so well with, being able to beat this Louisville team that was ranked number 2 in the nation, gives everyone a little bit more confidence than they were used to.
Erica Martinson with the pass to Lisa Yablonowski. She meant that.
And that's the difference between these two teams. People are in rebounding position for the Virginia team. For Louisville, they have 4 or 5 players out on the perimeter.
Long ball by Sam Firing. Averages 10 points. Nice three-pointer to really quiet this crowd. Taisha Caldwell almost lost possession. To the left is Willoughby, and the big defensive play by Virginia. Here comes Durr on the move. Nice tip in.
And that's what Louisville's used to. Taking advantage of quick shots or missed shots and running in transition. And that was the first time we've seen that all night, but that's where they thrive.
And the pace continues here at JPJ as Coach Tina Thompson's team has shown up.
Shown up and have shown out. Kyaja Caldwell is playing her best basketball right now. For Virginia, you want all of your players to be playing their best basketball right now. So it starts with Kyaja, but who's going to be the next player to step up for this Virginia team?
The Virginia team is getting the others playing extremely well for her today. Kyaja Caldwell leads the home team Virginia Cavaliers with a 5-point lead over the team that is ranked number 4 in the country. Surprise, Lauren?
I might have jinxed her. You know, I said she couldn't have 2 back-to-back off nights.
Yep.
In the Miami game, she came out not being able to hit a shot, and in this game, she's 0 for 4 right now, something that we're not used to seeing. And I mean, it's still early in the game, so you can't get too comfortable if you're Virginia. But for Louisville, you're going to have to find more ways to get her involved offensively.
Asia Durr, as advertised, one of the most electrifying players in college women's basketball, and is having a difficult night so far. But we also know that shooters shoot, and she's certainly a terrific shooter, and scorers certainly always compete. So we have not heard the last of Asia Durr tonight. Toussaint back in the ball game for Coach Tina Thompson, then takes it right to Durr, and will go to the free throw line to shoot 2.
And that's what we were hoping to see from Toussaint, getting to the basket with no hesitation. And you have to do that, especially when you have Durr guarding you. If you can get her out the game, then that's better off for your team.
Toussaint on the free throw line. We talked about her in the opening. You talked about how critical she is to what Tina Thompson wants to do with this team this season. And we haven't seen Toussaint and Willoughby play well together. Toussaint having a solid, Willoughby, I should say, having a solid night. What are we looking for Toussaint?
Toussaint has to get into the paint. When she's on the free throw line, UVA sees more success. They see more W's in that win and losses column, and 8 losses in ACC. She's only had 10 points.
So Toussaint makes those 2, gives Asia Durr her first personal. And Louisville looking for some kind of opening offensively. Durr answers.
And that's to be expected. Coming out of the first quarter with no points from your leading scorer, from the second leading scorer in ACC, that just can't happen. And so obviously they probably drew up a play for her to get the ball right there in her sweet spot. Coming off of the handoff, and that's her spot. She's going to knock that down 9 times out of 10.
No question Durr was going to continue to shoot, look for her shot. knocking down one of the great mid-range shooters in this league as well. Now you get the sense someone else is going to have to maybe anchor the offense for Virginia, because they are having a difficult time getting it back to the center of the floor because of this Louisville defense.
There were a few times earlier in this season where Tinsley was having some trouble being at that point guard position against very aggressive teams, and they moved Toussaint there, so I wouldn't be surprised to see that tonight.
The spacing on that shot not great for Virginia. And here comes Louisville. We know their ability to run in transition, and even, as you mentioned, secondary, they are also very good. Nice little pick and roll there. Evans. And here comes Louisville. We know they have the ability to get on the boards and kick out for those shots. That one doesn't go down for Durr. And she pats her chest and says, my fault.
And Virginia's still leading when the rebounding. 5 offensive rebounds for Louisville. That could have been a knockdown for Durr, but they were able to still contest it hard. And for Virginia, they're just showing so much effort. And you can kind of tell what they practiced in practice this past week, because it's showing out here on the court today.
10 on the shot clock again. You can see Louisville knows who the shooters are. Well, crossover by Willoughby gives it back to Louisville. I'll talk to you about the offense the next time down the court. So Louisville's doing a terrific job of really forcing Virginia into some tough situations offensively. Virginia sticking with the 2-3 zone here. Toussaint with the rebound. Rare opportunity in transition for the Cavaliers. And Toussaint trying to get to the basket and is called for her 3rd here tonight.
And I think I might have saw that lane, that drive for Toussaint before she did, because she hesitated just a second, and that lane closed up for her and came up with a foul.
They will take the long shots. They will live with that. That's their style. So even though Virginia's trying to force them to take that shot, that's also a shot that Louisville's very comfortable taking.
Yeah,
just not knocking them down today.
And I remember going up against Louisville and saying, hey, Asia Durr is going to get hers. You know, it's something that is going to happen. But if everyone else, if you contain everyone else, then you're in a better position. And right now, Durr's not able to get off, as well as Evans. That's a shot that she can make.
Yes. Virginia now with a 7-point lead, 2:39 remaining here in the first half. If you are just joining us, ACC Women's Basketball, Fran Harris, Lauren Moses with the call here. And man, they are putting 2 players on Durr at the top of the key. 4 on the shot clock. Dunham, nice footwork there. Tougher defense by Virginia.
And Lisa, she could have backed down when she got that hit. But as soon as she started hearing that count, she got closer to Dunham and made the shot even harder than what it was.
Can Virginia sustain this intensity? Will Louisville continue to play defense the way they're playing it? Because it's worked. It's worked. It's really forced Virginia into some tough shots and even turnovers.
Yeah, Virginia has 6 turnovers right now, and they have been doing a decent job of attacking the basket, but limiting those turnovers, especially out of ball screens, is they're going to have to do a better job of, because right now they're picking every single ball out off of a ball screen.
When I would coach my club team, I would say, stay off the sidelines. That's Death Valley. Like, it's the place where all good sense goes to die. You're walking into the trap. Right, you're walking into the trap. 2 with no sense of time score situation there was Brianna Tinsley, just was not paying attention.
And as a point guard, you have to have someone out on the court that's constantly looking at the shot clock. Earlier in the game, Joss, she saw the shot clock was down at 5 and called flat, 4 flat, making everybody on the baseline give me room to do my work. And for Tinsley, she has to be able to do that. She has to have confidence and step up and say, hey, 4 or 5 seconds left? Okay, we'll get out the way and let me go to the basket.
7 on the shot clock, extending this Louisville offense. Beautiful pass. Nice bucket down low by Kylie Shook.
And that's where Louisville thrives. When they can get 2 feet into that paint and draw the help defender, their post players are wide open, and they do a very good job of finishing on that low block. Shook, 50% from the field.
10 again on the shot clock. Virginia hasn't been able to get a whole lot in the paint this half. And again, another tough shot. Another bad possession for Virginia.
They can't seem to turn that corner. Those ball screens are really giving them trouble, and their post players, I think they have to set better screens. I feel like they're just standing there and waiting for the defender to hit them instead of making contact first and causing a little havoc.
So that's 2 empty possessions for Virginia the last time down. Louisville scored the last time down. Durr almost got that one to go down, and then great hustle there on the baseline by Robinson. So 25 seconds remaining here in the first half. Virginia with the opportunity to have the final possession, and it is just taken away by Evans. Nice move. And just like that, this lead is cut to 3.
And Kylie Shook's length, she'll do that. She'll be able to be behind you on the defensive end and still come up with the block.
Willoughby had a big half, did it all on both ends of the floor, started off with rebounding Lauren, but she picked up the lead, the score for Virginia as well.
She has shown that she can score, having 3 consecutive double-doubles in this ACC season. But she's just being a competitor out there. She's competing with this Louisville team and is showing that she has something to prove. So she's going to come out here and do the same exact.
Louisville 28-23. It's been a fast first half, Lauren, and we talked about the keys for both of these teams, what they needed to do to be successful here today.
And one of Louisville's keys was controlling the paint. UVA has done a very good job of taking over the paint. They have 16 points in the paint to Louisville's 14, which it isn't bad, but they're just making a concerted effort to get the ball where they want it, and that's right in the paint and finishing, getting rebounds. I mean, they're doing it all right now, as well as getting people involved. When we talk about getting people involved, we mean Kyaja Caldwell. We mean those people on the bench, as well as Erica Martinson. But Caldwell has been doing a great job of making her presence known, and I can't imagine her coming out here and not possibly starting the second half with Toussaint in foul trouble.
Well, Jeff Walls probably had some choice words for his team at halftime, no question about that. And what they will have to do to stop Kyaja Caldwell, she was amazing in the first half.
She was. She's being aggressive on the offensive end, and it's not a surprise because when she comes in the game, we usually see her getting to the basket a lot and trying to push the pace in transition, which is what Virginia needs. They need that extra spark. Right now, Willoughby has been doing a lot for them, but people like Caldwell coming off the bench could really do a lot for them, especially in this game.
You've mentioned Caldwell might start, or will Tina Thompson leverage the catalyst off the bench here in the second half, Lauren?
I think she's going to have to go with the momentum right now. They're doing a really good job playing with Caldwell, and she's not at the point position, but Tinsley has been having a hard time controlling the offense with Louisville's defenders, especially at the top. And so maybe Caldwell can give you that spark to really loosen some things up when they're doing some ball screens. So
a lot of things fairly easy and I should say equal for these teams. The field goal attempts. Louisville has taken 16 three-pointers. Again, that sounds like a lot to folks who don't necessarily shoot a lot of three-pointers, but that's pretty much their game. They just haven't knocked those things down.
Definitely. And rebounding, that sticks out to me. 23 rebounds for Virginia. Kudos to them. But Louisville, you have to give a little bit more, and Coach Walls talked about that. In Miami game, Miami wanted it more. They played with more energy, they played with more passion, and right now Louisville's not playing with that passion that Coach Walls really wants to be seeing at this point in their season.
Listen, what's interesting is as we prepare for the game, we talked about Louisville loving to run, but you have to rebound to run, and Virginia loves to run, but you have to rebound to run, and so Virginia clearly in the lead in terms of that, and they've gotten more opportunities in transition as a result of that. They had, at the UNC game on Sunday, Virginia had 0 points in transition at halftime. Beautiful pass, beautiful move right there. And no surprise, Louisville has gone to a full court press right out the gate.
Yeah, they're gonna try to shake some things up right now and make Virginia even more uncomfortable than they were in the first half on this offensive end.
1 point lead for Virginia. Here, back door, beautiful pass, and Willoughby just overthrew that one. And here come the Louisville Cardinals. Nice move, beautiful.
Both teams struggling to finish right now, but it's not stopping Tucson, and it's not going to stop Louisville either. These are both teams that want to get out in transition, so that's what we're going to see in the second half, especially when Louisville went into halftime not leading in the game.
So transition opportunity averted, as Dunham just threw that one to Coach Jeff Walls. What do you think he said to his team at halftime, Lauren?
I don't really want to say what I think he said, but they have to give more effort, and I think that's what they're lacking right now. Defensively, they're doing a good job, but offensively, they're not trying to get the shots that they're used to taking, and that's where they're struggling. They're struggling on the offensive end.
8 on the shot clock. Willoughby with the ability to take that shot and make that shot. Finally does take it. And one shot opportunity for Virginia. And here's where Louisville can really start to rack up points. In transition, they are good in primary as well as secondary break. Nice little mid-range shot right there. Not much you can do about Jasmine Jones doing that. Louisville with that 1 point lead now.
And her game is so simple. I mean, every time we played against her, she would have breakout games because, you know, she does the most simple moves, takes one dribble, pull up, and that's her game. They run quick hitters just to get her to get that shot.
So many weapons is what we talked about this Louisville team at the beginning of the game. Asia Durr was not having a great first half, but the others for Coach Jeff Walls are starting to show up, and as a result, the number 4 team in the country has a 1 point lead in Charlottesville.
Louisville getting other people involved. Sam Furing, a player who usually is a dominant scorer for this team, as well as Jones pull up at the free throw line, excuse me. They've been trying to get a little bit more motion going on this offensive end. Well,
they came out of the locker room at halftime. They looked a little bit different than they did. And Lauren, you can tell me you played more recently than I have. And that is, when you've beaten a team by as much as Louisville beat Virginia the first time they met in Louisville, is it difficult to get up for that team?
I wouldn't say it's difficult to get up for them because Virginia's used to, playing Louisville twice. And we always seem to do better the second time that we've played them when I was playing. So it's kind of like you're hungry, They kind of embarrassed you the time before, so let's come out here and show and prove, what we're made of.
Different kind of energy and intensity, though, for Louisville. This looks like a different team.
And that's why controlling the paint was one of our keys, because they have players like Furing and Dunham who can really just eat in that paint, and they haven't really been doing that, especially in the first half, excuse me. But in this third quarter, you're seeing a little bit more of that.
3 point lead by the Cardinals. 10 on the shot clock. A little pick and roll action, and then just lost the basketball and then fouled. Jablonowski. Always that foul after you turn over the ball. And see the nice pick and roll here. What can you do with that?
Not much. Puts it in her sweet spot, and that's what you practice every day. Pick and roll, high pass, finish high on the backboard. Doesn't get any simpler than that.
Asia Durr very comfortable in the facilitator role. Kaisha Caldwell back on the floor for Brianna Tinsley. Tina Thompson made that change very quickly after watching the first few minutes of this second half. But the defense has also picked up for Louisville. Back in a man-to-man defense. Again, trying to pick and roll with Lisa Jablonowski, and it's picked off. Willoughby couldn't let her have that one.
And that Louisville defense, you know, they do such a good job of hard hedging ball screens that they're obviously going to have that help side. So you can't just throw up a pass hoping that it gets to the other side of the basket, because Louisville's prepared for that. They know they're going to send two people at the ball, so they have to be prepared for anybody that could be open, and they're going to take care of those who are closest to the ball.
Sam Fearing, 6'3" senior out of New Jersey, knocks down the first one. You probably had to go against number 3.
Yes, I'm very, you know, I've played against her a lot. She, especially in Rose Classic up in New York, she's a good player. She can play from the three-point line. We've seen her shoot a few threes, and I think that she's been shooting a little bit too much from the three-point line, especially in this game when then there's a clear advantage in the post.
Certainly one of the best and the most versatile big players I've seen, not just in the ACC, but in the country. Has had 4 double-doubles this season, and you can see why. She's got a nice toolkit.
And she stepped up, especially after Maisha Hines-Allen graduated last year. She's been stepping up big for this Louisville team, and that's what you need. That's what you can expect, especially when you lose a player.
The running game for Louisville has started to pick up. 7-point lead. My, how the times have changed. And again, Louisville on the run. Their press turning their defense into offense.
And this is the Louisville, the number 4 ranked Louisville that everyone was waiting to see. They use their defense, because they're so aggressive, to get points in transition, and they didn't do that. They did that one time in the first half.
And now Virginia just unraveling right here as Monet Jones tries to stop the bleeding.
And sometimes it just takes that one basket, and hopefully Virginia can kind of get this game back under wraps. Only down 7 right now, but they really need to get a stop.
But what you've just seen, folks, is what Louisville does. They just get points. Their defense turns into offense. That's their style of play. So that's nothing that we have not watched all season long. That's why they're number 4 in the country. Four on the shot clock. Nice hands by Fearing. That was a suspect pass, but great hands.
Yeah, Louisville turning it over from defense to offense, able to push in transition, turn their defense into some points, and that's what the Louisville, that's the team that we expect, and that's the team we're going to continue to see.
Quarter, Louisville has taken the lead by 7, but they've done it the old-fashioned way, just playing a great defense.
Just playing great defense. They always say defense wins championships, but they're averaging 20 points off of turnovers throughout this season, and right now they have 14 points off of Virginia's turnovers. Some of them unforced, but a lot of them have been because Louisville does a great job of guarding ball screens, and this Virginia team runs a lot of ball screens.
I have not seen a team trap as well, very high in the front court, relentless in terms of just wreaking havoc and playing the passing lanes as well as I've seen Louisville do it.
They have post players that can do that, and sometimes, you know, teams have post players that can't really get up there and revert back to their player, and because they have post players who are agile and can move very quickly when the ball's reversed, they do a really good job of that.
Passing lanes, that's their thing. They've created lots of turnovers just from getting in the passing lanes and forcing Virginia to the sidelines. 9 on the shot clock. Monet Jones can't handle it, but it will remain Virginia basketball. And
there's a little pep in Louisville's step on defense. Jocelyn act like she was going to pass it to the corner, and you saw Louisville's defenders, you know, kind of taking a jump to that passing lane like you were talking about.
Toussaint takes a tough shot right there, and it will be Louisville basketball, and Jeff Walls loving that defense right there. That's the kind of shot he wants Virginia to take.
Toussaint can hit that shot, but she's taking it rushed. She didn't have great position in order to make that shot, didn't have the best footwork going into that shot, but she only has 2 points in this game, and we talked about her getting more involved, and she hasn't been doing too well of that in this game.
So dangerous pass by Toussaint to your post player coming up on the press breaker. Does give it back to Virginia, but what does Virginia need to do differently to break this press?
I mean, you have to know your personnel, know your teammates. Passing Lisa the ball in the middle of the court with players around her just isn't very smart right now. And so you just have to take what the defense is giving you and use the sideline to break that press.
Asia Durr doing what she does. Virginia with a rare opportunity in transition. That's a tough pass over to Kyaja Caldwell, a little bit late probably. And Virginia with an opportunity, but not a whole lot has happened offensively for Virginia in the half court in the last few minutes. 10 on the shot clock again. Jablonowski. Cold is Virginia right now.
And now Virginia only getting one shot, one look at the basket each time down the floor, and then having to run back and guard Louisville so that they don't get transition buckets, and now they have to guard them for 30 seconds.
Nice move by Dunham, no go. Opportunity in transition again for Virginia, but Virginia not running. The post player still in the backcourt.
This is the time where you have to put the gas on the pedal. Less than 3 minutes in this third quarter, and you can turn the momentum of this game before it gets into the fourth quarter to shorten that lead that Louisville has right now.
Bank shot, Kyaja Caldwell. 9-point lead, Louisville. Virginia sticking with the 2-3 zone. They'll let Fearing take that one. Monet Jones with the rebound.
But I'd have to say, pretty low-scoring game because Louisville's used to scoring almost 80 points a game. So Virginia's doing a good job of contesting shots and limiting them to one shot, but now Virginia has to start taking advantage of that.
Yep, that 79 average is 16th in NCAA. Jocelyn Willoughby does not care about that. Knocks that one down, a 7-point lead now for the Cardinals. Jocelyn Willoughby on that bucket eclipses the 1,000-point mark. Joins some elite players like one sitting next to me. Durr got it. That's butter right there. Asia Durr knocking that one down. Jeff Walls and staff loving that as Tina Thompson tries to get her team back and get recalibrated.
And that might be the shot that kind of gets Durr going. Only 5 points here, but she's been doing a lot for this team. She's been causing havoc on the defensive end as well with her teammates, especially on those ball screens.
ESPN Plus is your home for more sports, more schools, more conferences, more ESPN. Start your free trial today by downloading the ESPN app or visiting ESPNplus.com. Not a lot of bright spots for Coach Tina Thompson, but tonight Willoughby has stepped up. She just got past the 1,000-point mark. What's your thought on this player?
And she's taking good shots. She's taking big shots. She's taking the shots that Virginia needs to continue to see success going throughout this season. And I think that each game, you know, she kind of has a different look in her eye where she's just hungry. She's hungry for the win. She's hungry to see her team succeed more. And that's what you can expect from a junior on this team who has started every game of her career. And she knows what it takes, you know, to notch that 1,000th point.
Jocelyn Willoughby truly embodies what it means to be a student athlete as well. Has been all academic ACC. Played with my partner here, Lauren Moses, and recently got another academic award.
She did. Wherever Jocelyn is, she usually has a book in hand. And recently she was named to the academic all-district team. The second after 1996, Jenny Bosick. So 7th all-time overall Cavalier that have earned that honor. So kudos to Joss, but like I said, she always has a book in her hand. Before games, after games, before practices. She's one that really strives for more knowledge and to just learn as much as she can and to be an impact in any way.
Impact player right there, Dana Evans, a 5'6" sophomore out of Gary, Indiana, silences the crowd and lifts Louisville to a 13-point lead over Virginia. Caldwell goes by, the miss. Jablanowski could not hang on, but Virginia with the basketball. Three-pointer launch by Willoughby, gets it.
Talk about an impact. She just does it all, man. I can't stress that enough. And it's because she practices like this. She's the one person in practice that is getting her team pumped up, not only through just her voice, but through her play. You can't help but to be a good teammate to someone that plays like this.
It's hard to know what you can do against a team as deep and as potent offensively as Louisville is. The foul will send Jasmine Jones to the free throw line for 2.
And we talked about Jones, her game. She gets better every year. Had a season high 17 points, 3 threes versus Clemson. Not a huge three-point threat, but I feel like every time she touches the court, she just has that confidence that she can hit any shot.
Jones's second one does not go down. Willoughby launches that one and just shy, grazes the rim. Virginia trailing here by 11, and it's been a tough third quarter for the Cavaliers.
It has been. Louisville showing up and showing out right now. Evans with 10 points. People are getting involved. They're not able to hit shots. Okay, well let's see what Jones can do. Let's see what Dunham can do. And they've been doing it all out here. Up 48-37 right now.
Turned here in Charlottesville, Virginia trailing by 11 against a very tough Louisville team who went in at halftime, Lauren, and figured some things out.
Yeah, they figured out that they need to continue playing Louisville basketball, something that they've been doing for years on end. 22-2 record in road games. I mean, that just is a different mentality, and Coach Walls talked about it. Only 2 losses, and they were both against #1 opponents. But like I said, Coach Walls talked about it. The mentality can't change no matter who you're playing. And you can see that they started off the game slow, but it's all about bouncing back. Lost to Miami, you bounce back. You don't have a great start, but what are you going to do in the second half? You have to control your destiny, and this Louisville team is known for doing that.
Well, when you know you're good, I will say that. When you know you're good, there's no need for panic. And as Asia Durr has said on Twitter this week or last week, and someone mentioned the loss to Miami, she said, well, it is January. So basically, we don't need to push the panic button.
Yeah, you play your best basketball in March. So, and like you said, you're a top team. 1 loss, 2 losses, okay.
Big rebound by Jones. And now another rebound by Caldwell. Nobody's catching her. Virginia with the bucket last time down. Tinsley with a nice dish to Jablanowski. Can Virginia put together 2 possessions? Slipped out of Caldwell's hand to the basket is Evans with the left, and nobody boxes out. Tinsley all the way to the basket. That was a tough shot.
And right now, Virginia not running back on defense. Transition defense was a key for this game because Louisville is so good at pushing and everyone running. And right now, only a few white jerseys are getting down the court.
Brianna Tinsley anchoring the offense for Virginia. Toussaint on the on the bench. Not a lot of weapons out there for Virginia folks who've been looking to score. Tinsley, hesitation. Tough shot by Willoughby, knocks it down.
Virginia getting deep into that shot clock once again, something we saw way too often in the first half. Going to have to get better looks at the basket and going to have to create more, screen more, cut more, move some more on offense right now is what Virginia needs to do.
Here you don't get the sense that Virginia is running with a purpose. You see white jerseys running down the floor, but they're just kind of jogging alongside the traffic, Lauren.
Yeah, right now it's the Caldwell and Willoughby show. They're the only two people out here that are giving a lot of effort for this team in hopes to pull out this win against the number 4 team in the nation. You know, that's an opportunity.
Yes.
And you have to take advantage of that. Close game, down by 7, with less than 8 minutes to go. You have to give it your all. And then, you know, if they had more of a bench, coaches would say, okay, you 5 don't want to play. Everyone,
right.
let's take you all out and come back in. But they don't have that right now. So you have to work with what you have. But as a leader, you have to get your players together and say, hey, what's going on? I can't be running down the court by myself with 5 red jerseys.
Willoughby tries to take it herself and will be signaled for a travel.
And calls like that are deflating. When you're going so hard and wanting something so bad and coming up with a call that you don't agree with, it's hard. You have to wrap your mind around it, but then also get back on defense.
Fearing knocks down the 3. That's confidence when you, that's Shook who knocks down a 3. When you've got Durr in the corner, you take that shot, that's a lot of confidence.
And Coach Wall said that. He said, Shook is a shooter. She was a shooter in high school. So what everyone was surprised about over, their last game in Miami when she came in and hit 2, 3, hit 4 out of 5 actually. Threes, we're used to seeing that. She's confident in shooting that shot, but looking off Durr to shoot that shot is what people aren't really used to.
Right. I'm looking and seeing Durr in the corner.
Yeah.
She's about to give it one more pass over here, and she says, nah, I'm going to take this.
But that's what you need. When you're a key player, it hasn't been really hitting those shots. You need someone else to have that mentality like, okay, I'm going to step up for her.
Caldwell ultimately gets the competitor, Evans, to foul her. Fresh shot clock for Virginia. 6:49 remaining, 10-point lead by Louisville. And they've done it mostly defense to offense, playing their game. Spin move by Willoughby. Still plenty of time in the shot clock. It seems like Virginia's working extra hard for every offensive possession they get.
It's a lot of contact on both ends. Refs haven't been calling too many fouls here, but Virginia, like you said, having to get into the paint, kick out, another drive, kick out just to get a shot.
The ball movement by the Cardinals. The ball never settles for very long with Louisville. They are always looking for the best shot on the floor. Durr knocks that one down. She's been relatively quiet. I say that. She's been a facilitator, hasn't scored a whole lot tonight, but big shots when you need it.
Yeah, only 3 for 12, but back-to-back off nights, not something that you usually see. But Virginia has to do something about this,
Jablonowski can't get it to go down. Opportunity. Caldwell with a tough runner and all red jerseys underneath. The head to Evans, nice, gives it up, and Willoughby on the backside will send her to the free throw line.
And I think that's a frustration foul. Haven't been making layups, haven't been converting transition, and she's on her knees right now, but she's working hard for this team. Everybody knows it, but you sometimes just have to let it go. You are behind the player. You know you're not going to block Shook. Standing at 6'4", you kind of have to let that one go.
So Jocelyn Willoughby, we know, is logging lots of minutes. Not just tonight, but this entire season for Coach Tina Thompson. So there's some discrepancy on the clock. They're going to review the clock to see if the clock started. If we got some integrity with the time and the clock here. And
every second counts. Close game. You don't want any time coming off that clock that wasn't supposed to.
Especially, as you mentioned, with an opportunity game.
Yeah.
This is an opportunity
this is a big game.
Yeah.
You come into this game only thinking about the best. You don't even think, you take all negative thoughts, all doubt out of this game. Because that's only going to hold you back.
Durr on Martinson, understanding why she's in the ball game. Erica Martinson tries to get past. And now the scrum on the floor gives it back to Louisville.
And I feel like there's been so many times where Virginia has gotten into the paint and they just fumble the ball, whether that's, getting it hit out of their hand or just dribbling off of their leg and their feet. And they got to take care of that, because late in games, those really cost you, because those are points and attempts at the basket that you're letting up.
Asia Durr now at the high post. Playing all over the court. Evans, a long three ball, got it!
And she was waiting over there for it too. She was calling for the ball. Virginia's defense left her open on the opposite side. Got a good contest, but she was a few feet off that three-point line.
19-point lead for the Cardinal. And Virginia having a very difficult time being effective on the offensive end, and it has everything to do with this Louisville defense. But you know what? Their offense has been pretty good too.
Offense has been skyrocketing in this half. Threes have been going up from just about everyone, from Durr, Evans, Shook. They're lighting it up right now. Virginia's going to have to figure out a way to stop it.
19-point lead here in Charlottesville. They're doing what number 4 teams in the country do. They just turned it on in the second half and started playing Louisville basketball.
Yeah, Dana Evans stepping up where Asia Durr has been lacking behind that three-point line. She's taken some attempts, she's knocked some down, but she's getting other people involved as well. Shook hit a big three, and obviously for Virginia, Jocelyn Willoughby notching her 1,000th point, career point, and is doing it all for Virginia, laying it out here on the line. Clearly she's exhausted, but she doesn't stop. The motor just keeps going.
Willoughby with a double-double, 16 points, 12 rebounds so far with about 4:15 remaining in the ball game. Tough shot by Toussaint. And here come the Cardinals. What Jeff Walls has done with this Louisville program has been absolutely amazing. Obviously recruiting that one right there.
And they're so good because their transition just flowed right into their offensive set.
Yep.
No one had to bring the ball out and call a play.
Exactly.
Their secondary offense starts from their transition. So if they don't get that shot, they're coming with a drive. They're coming with a kick out. They're coming with an inside look. They have so many options to work with.
And what you don't realize, folks don't realize, is that takes about 7 or 8 seconds off of your possession when you got to set it back up and call the point guard and do all those kinds of things, and they just flow right into their offense. That's a big time take to the basket by Asia Durr. 4 years ago, Jeff Walls was recruiting players like that, and you look at this is literally, I talked about the ascent of Jeff Walls.
Yeah.
That is one of the most impressive resumes I've seen in either women's or men's basketball.
Greatness. Literally greatness. 8 trips to the NCAA. Had national title battles, Final Four battles. You know, his team is always in the mix at that top national level, and you have to kind of have that mentality yourself in order to coach great athletes like this, because I mean, they're already athletes. They come to Louisville being really good players, but then you have to kind of instill that mentality that, you know, we're not going to quit. We don't care who we're playing. We're going to have that aggressive mindset on offense and defense every time out.
Yeah. So Toussaint takes a trip to the bench, 4 fouls, 2 points. And not a good night for the junior from New York, Staten Island, but that junior knocks it down, does Lisa Jablonowski.
Haven't seen much from her, but she's 5 from 9 from the field, playing better and more confidently than we've seen in the past. Has had issues with finishing at the rim, but she's doing a lot better today.
It's kind of raining threes here in the second half for Louisville.
I remember the second three-pointer that Durr put up and made. Since then, I don't think she's missed a three, and I think they might have missed one the entire time.
Kyaisha Caldwell continues her assault. Nice left on the baseline. The lead now 22. And here's the thing, when you're playing a team as good, as solid through and through as Louisville, you get down by 10, it really starts to feel like 20 even before it gets there.
Oh, trust me, I know it. I know that feeling way too well. And that's why earlier in this game, we kept talking about take advantage of Durr not being able to make shots. Yes. Take advantage of only allowing them to shoot one shot. Virginia had so many opportunities for them to use that for their advantage, and they didn't. They didn't do a very good job of scoring offensively, and in part, that's because Louisville is a great defensive team. They hold teams to 60 points a game, and Virginia's only averaging about 58. So
Brianna Tinsley with a shot that kind of feels like a little bit too late for this Virginia team. You know, Brianna Tinsley is one of those, we know she has a great outside shot, but she's much better when she's in attack mode, and she really hasn't been that way for Virginia in the last few games. Seven on the shot clock. Evans looking to create. Instead, steps back. Rebound, Willoughby. Ahead to Jablonowski for the bucket.
Great effort there. Like you said, it's feeling like it's a little bit too late. These were instances that they could have taken advantage of earlier in this game. Had some runouts, but you have to continue playing until the buzzer sounds.
You've played this Louisville team, and you've seen the culture, because even though you didn't play this particular team, you've played Louisville, and there's a culture at Louisville. What is it when you're out there on the court as an opponent of them?
They're gritty. You know, I think Dana Evans got hit in the chest running down and in transition, trying to run in transition at least, and I think Jocelyn came up with the ball, but, you know, she stopped for a second and then sprint back down before Jocelyn even got down the court. It comes down to just wanting it more in this Louisville team. You know, you think they were an underdog by the way that they play, but they just play so hard. They're relentless in what they do, and they have an identity. I think that's what separates them from teams in the ACC. When you look at Notre Dame, Louisville, NC State, these are all teams that have identities, and they stick to it, and they're consistent with it. And Virginia, I think they're finding that identity, but the next step is to remain consistent.
And just as Louisville, when you're the obvious favorite in a game, your challenge is not to let down, not to play down to your competition, as we say in sports. If you're the underdog, your thing is not to get so happy because you're leading the big team.
Yeah.
You're ahead. And I thought Virginia was pretty steady there in the first half, but what happened is Louisville came out in the second half and said, we're the number 4 team in the country.
Yeah, they turned it up a notch, and Virginia couldn't respond. And in games, you have to have someone out on the court. You have to have people on the bench saying, okay, we did this in the first half, it worked. But hey, they're coming out a different team right now. They're coming out the team that we kind of prepared for, and now we're not able to respond.
Was it Louisville's defense? It's hard to say. They got almost to their average of 79 here tonight, but what really turned this around for them?
It was their defense, but also offensively. They got more looks and attempts at the basket. They were getting into the paint more confidently, and I think they were shooting more confidently. You know, when Durr wasn't making her shots, I think a lot of the other players weren't shooting either, and so it caused a little bit of slowness on the offensive end for Louisville, and I think that they really were able to bring that up into speed in the second half.
Well, Durr did heat up, but it was Evans with 13 points for Duke. It was a team effort. Willoughby had 16 points and 13 rebounds and eclipsed her 1,000 points. So that's going to do it for us tonight. For Lauren Moses, I'm Fran Harris saying so long from John Paul Jones Arena in Charlottesville, Virginia, where Louisville defeats Virginia 71-49. To watch this entire game on replay, as well as other games on our family of ESPN networks, log on to watchespn.com or download the Watch ESPN app. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports.